Alright, so this time around I'm going to actually change the format on how I do things. And just start basically making the minimap the whole screen. If you want to watch the match from the POVs or with the casters, you can just go do that. There's no real point in me doing it. So anyway, this is Skyline, in case you couldn't tell. This is going to be your Skyline. This is going to be against Optic versus Carolina Royal Ravens, which is... I mean, I guess I won't spoil it just in case no one's watched, but there's a lot of good lessons here because Carolina is unironically looking like the best team in the game right now. I didn't actually watch the finals of this yet, but we don't have a lot to look at of FaZe, considering they were pretty horrible going into it. So Optic going for this is like a standard S&D strat. You need to stack this lane in order to prevent the mid hit from the other team. So in this case, Ravens could hit through bottom bed, pop out the little door right here and try and hit through mid. This is an S&D strat in order to hard counter that, where basically you need to have a guy watching top. You also need to have a guy challenging bed because the guy sprinting to cut it off can't do that. And so you need effectively 3 players in order to pull this off like in a efficient way. So you see that they immediately cut the map. They kill one guy running out the door. He might have died top. They kill one guy coming out door. And then looks like Hugh gets bad timing kitch, but the info's fine. Actually, arguably should have had that. It's hard to tell. He was kind of out there. He was the guy hard challenging the angle. So yeah, it's just Hugh getting that timing kitchen that's really bad there because kitchen has all the cuts for the entries. So if you already have a guy behind the hot tub, then losing kitchen control isn't the biggest deal in the world. You need people to watch your front or to be able to help, like, just to be able to help in general. When you don't have time, having someone kitchen's a pain in the ass because if the spawns are controlled and they know what side you're coming out of, then they can effectively just kill you before you can even get a line of sight on the guy on time. So the time's kind of white Optic, ensuring they don't lose spawns. That's why Hugh is playing this so slow, for sure. Now Hugh's going to end up getting one. The problem with that is that now things have flipped. Because even though Shotzi slips time here, Kenny goes down, and then Hugh got traded out. So 8 and 5 should spawn P2, and you just lost spawns. That's not good. Now with this map, it's... realistically, competitively speaking, this map sucks. So do all the other maps pretty much, but you can't really prevent this all the time, but I feel like right there could have been something done. It's impossible to have something for every situation on this map because the engagement or the bang outs never end. So yeah, Optic kind of spawn up here. There's a reflip because Optic get a guy in the back. Who was that? That was Hugh. Yeah, Hugh OE's kitchen. No one's ready for kitch. So now 8 and 5 spawn up like I said they would, but now Hugh's blocking all that. Now it reflips because 5 isn't blocking this spawn apparently. And so now you're going to see Vivid spawn probably hedges. Although since Kenny's here, he might spawn towards like the jump up. Now he just spawns hard hedge. They end up clearing the guy in the back. Now they spawn close time. You see the spawn is literally 5 meters away from time. Normal stuff. And Optic is getting scrapped, so this turned out well for them. Gonna be heavy hedge spawn here. No, what's that Chow? So one of the things about this map is that if you they can spawn bed if you have no front pressure. So always having an extra guy is almost essential just to be able to check the weights OE where you can get help from top. You can throw some extra nades. Also, this little zipline play is annoying, although there's nothing you can really do about it from bottom unless you're directly like watching it. But you get pressure on that, and then you also can get pressure on this lane, which is what I believe Kenny did. He wide peeks it, and they don't spawn hedge. They spawn here. And so most players like instinctually will start running forward off spawn. It's actually generally in this situation best to go through kitchen because you have enough things blocking line of sight in kitchen and very limited angles to cut it from to where you can get close, pushed up before the enemy can see you or at least kill you. And so using all the cover available here is generally good. Whereas if they all want to flood mid, go ahead. Like, I'm fine with that. You're just going to win that bang out war because you can open up those line of sights off optic spawns so much faster. So you have 2 through kitchen. You see the mid hit kind of goes down here. But 6, yeah, this is TJ. They just kind of don't play for him. They didn't have a second guy there. And that's comes down to that first gunfight. Nobody can watch where TJ's coming through, so he runs top. He's going to get this freebie. Because the first trade, or the first kill in this kitchen engagement went Raven's way. Now you have this parallel, this is that bed spawn I was talking about. And since there's no pressure on this line at all, actually I think number 5 just spawned... Yeah, number 5 just spawns piano. Alright. But yeah, there was no pressure there. It's theoretically, if you're going to try and spawn someone in the good spawn and force people to block all those, then that was a safe spawn. So now it's Optic should have a good collapse here. 5 is not looking at anything. He's not going to be in time. Win actually makes a play off time instead of sticking. I like that. They're roaming because Optic should be getting this time. So it becomes less about, hey, let's get as much scrap time as possible. Like, you're not going to win a 3v1 collapse. So I'm going to get off time. They're not going to expect it. I'm going to get these freebies. And then TJ is going to have time to hit his route because he was useless for a second. And we're just going to keep them off this scrap for as long as possible. So that ended up, if you count the couple seconds that Ravens got, that ended up being like a good 7-point swing, which on this map, 7 points matters. Bang out heavy maps tend to be very even. So very heavy haul hit. Generally, you want to, for the same reason I said earlier that Optic have to commit 3 people to go through middle here. For that same reason, when you're going to go through middle, you have to commit a lot of people. So in Optic, instead of banging out through the front, they want to flip this because hedge is good spawn for next anyway. And so they commit 3 people to just doing one thing, right? Just one end goal instead of having a bunch of individual plays going on. So 4 is down low. But if somebody had killed 4, then Optic were in a position where they could have dropped to bed or just OE'd or just helped from top. And now you see the spawns going insane. Spawn back here. Basically just full flip spawns. Optic should spawn bed here, or never mind, because no Optic player's dead. And now they're spawning close front. You generally want to have a guy, if they're going to spawn here, you want to have a guy pushed up kitch to ensure that this is blocked. And so they spawn a little further back, which is significantly further back on a map this small. But Optic didn't have that. 2's going to have time to cut at least. 5's looking. And yeah, they're just going to hold. Because, and that's the thing. Like, all Ravens had to do right there was just hit through front. Like, if they just used all the cover available, made sure the guy bar couldn't see them, and just banged front, they would have had this scrap. Or not even scrap, but just a good chunk of this hill. But it's very gambly. It's very BO4-like. Where you just hit something, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't, you know? PTK is so high that it generally just comes down to numbers. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what dynamic happened there. Vivid holding through top here is very important, though. Because it makes it impossible for Shotzzy to get any angles down under him, or to run to glass and drop down and help. So we'll see what happens underneath him. It's effectively a 2v1 now. But if he can prone and get a freebie, which is what he's doing, and I call that art. I'm not sure what people call it. But in that little room in front of time here, if you can just prone, get a free kill, then all of a sudden you got a 1-on-1 because somebody's got to be holding hedge. Even though Shotzzy's top, somebody's got to be holding hedge, just actively blocking that. So he's eating my shoe. That's fine. I don't care about that one. Great kill out of Hugh. Shotzzy drop right there. That's that drop I'm talking about. When you have a guy looking over that, this position becomes essentially out of the play. But when there's nobody stopping him, he can get there very fast and be very useful. And Optic just have this close spawn, so they're just going to win this out. This is the closest thing to a money hill this game, or this map kind of has. But it's still not much of one. Like, the amount of time Optic's getting here is very abnormal. Okay, but then it's going to stabilize here. Very bizarre. When you spawn piano here, then you know they're not coming from bed anytime soon, I guess, and they're going to be kitchen side. But spawning, like, mid-kitch there is insane to me. I think the game's general idea is to spawn you as close as possible to the hill at all times. But it doesn't always make sense. That's a little jump spot. Known about it since, like, the first week. Don't think it's catching many people off guard, though. Or very useful in general. Yeah, so that kill out of Dashy is very important. He does that thing where he solo fills, and he's just going to cut Kitch to ensure that kind of maybe get info for Huke, but just to kind of get info in general for everyone. And also, he just gets a free kill. Useful. It's on time. That's a big loss, but it is traded. And now, after that, you see Huke immediately turns around once he sees Kenny spawn piano. When Kenny spawns piano, he knows nobody is actively close to bed, and so it's probably a kitch hit, but in reality, it's kind of top heavy. Not sure why it did spawn in there. Because 7 is underground. Okay, yeah, makes sense. So you see Optic is all eyes front. They don't care about their kitch. And now they do. So Kenny's playing off timing here, or maybe he just realized that they got to be going kitch, like what I just said. But 3's not worried about it because he has the cut anyway, so people from kitch can't like run to time without going through him. Actually's also looking at it now. This is a very good play out of Gwyn. Gwyn's extremely underrated at SMGs. I don't want to say he's top 5, but he's very Shotzzy-esque. Very, like, annoying to play against. So you see this collapse on time. Now, that Carolina have man advantage, they can kind of just collect. We'll see actually what happens up top. There's a team nade. Where did Dashy throw this? Oh, he threw it at time. Wow. Well, I mean, that's something. Unfortunately, the game wants to spawn Kenny here instead of in the back somewhere. Generally, because it's still P1 spawns. The game generally favors hedge or like front piano. That's kind of the primaries. Now you see this parallel here because the game didn't want to spawn Carolina here. That's kind of bizarre. But this might be the lowest priority spawn, is this white step spawn. Now that there's 10 seconds left, spawn should normalize to P2. So Optic need to actively block. Number 2 realizes this, turns around and starts actively blocking, I think. Yeah, one and they do it. Carolina win the bang out front, and like this hill, one reason spawns kind of don't matter that much is because there's too much shit to watch. You need to watch your zip, you need to watch your piano, you need to watch your top hall, and in almost all of those cases, the enemy can push up right next to the point essentially before you can like get a line of sight on them. So you just pick one, body stack it, and yeah, you're just gonna 3v1 the one or maybe even 3v2 the 1 or 2 guys that are watching it. So, I mean, it is what it is. Also, you can choose, like, you have a better timings with nades. So that's why you see number 4 here. That's why you see Dashy trying to take this space. He's trying to get info. Like, he doesn't want to, why let them push up to piano here when even if Dashy, you know, doesn't even hit a bullet and just gets 2v1 like in this gunfight, well, he spawns back up and he can get back to that point before they can even like make a play. So just take the space that's available. And I always say that's the number one thing that differentiates like good players from bad players. It's not your gunny generally. Like aim assist is way too good. It's just pacing. Just how many useful engagements are you getting? Yep, and so Optic have kind of held through here. They just went out the trades. Slasher tries it. I don't like that. He tries to play it slow. He knows that they're looking for one guy who's probably relatively recently off respawn, and he's up top pre-aiming, and he just decides I'm gonna try and slide across. Like what? Like at least hold. If you want to buy time, the better play is literally just prone and wait for your team to get a line of sight, and then like double chow on a jump up or something. Just the worst thing he could have done was put his gun down while they're definitely looking for him, and they know who they're looking for and how he plays. So Optic are able to get this this help angle here. They know that all the pressure should be front, and obviously Gwyn on time. Gwyn throwing his life there, not necessary. That should not have happened, and now Shotzi has bought a flank. He was probably... Where did he come from? Shotzi's on time. He dies here. Right? How far back did I go? Not far enough, I guess. Doesn't matter. Yep, and so they're going to secure this time too. The Optic are just looking way better in this hard point. London just aren't able to make things kind of hectic and bang out oriented. They're kind of just getting cooked, yeah. Giving Huke a triple. Chauncey losing that's kind of major. Okay, but Huke immediately trades, and now he's going to have time for his teammate to spawn in the back. You see the piano spawn and also the white step spawn. These are kind of finicky. You get a guy close to the bed peak, they're not going to spawn piano. You kind of don't want him to spawn piano, but it just depends on what your team's able to play for. This is another hill where you have to, look at a little too much to be able to cover with 4 people without being prone to, just getting banged out. That's kind of what happened. So now you see that Carolina, all they're worried about is just not losing spawns, right? You want to try and get in this hill, go. Yep. Now that they have 2 kills, okay, we can get a guy in time. Now they have 3 kills, we can get a guy in time. It's kind of very like S&D like, in a way. Just forcing mistakes, playing for potential mistakes. If you never play for your opponent to make a mistake and act like they're perfect, then you're never going to punish any. Alright, so Optic get those front piano spawns because 8 goes down, they lose front pressure. That makes it virtually impossible for Ravens here because they're going to spawn down low. So Optic are going to get a good chunk at this time already. Because you should see hedge spawns, yep, and they have to go through top. Because like I said, Kitchen, very good for getting cuts if your teammate is on time. If they are on time, nothing you can do besides maybe throw nades. But yeah, I mean, if you go through Kitchen, oh, they could be your top, they could be your bed. They could be their top, they could be their white steps, they could be their weights. And then you have the guy on time that's able to help at any point in time. It's impossible to break through there, You have to go top. Taking bed is also a bitch, especially with someone like Shotzi in your game, but Shotzi's top. And so 5 slips, very good play. Doesn't work out, but it was about as good as you could have hoped for in that situation. They get 1 for 3, meh. Kenny gets 1. Kenny's holding their top while they're actively blocking P2. I mean, this is a masterclass. If you get their top, like I said, things become very annoying. Like, it's very hard to get through bed and to get through down here because there's so many angles you can watch this from, and there's so many angles where someone could be able to fast help from. Once you're spotted, you're just fucked. Even if you have your teammates with you, like you basically have to stand in the same spot, not to be able to be singled out by these top angles, for instance. Like if you're visible from top in bedroom, if you can see the guy top, well then if you have a guy back bedroom behind the couch, he can't necessarily see him unless he prones. So it just becomes weird. And now it looks like Carolina's kind of given up. They're just making a last-ditch effort. 5 is going to try and go get spawns. But this one's over. Yeah, and it's even immediately read by Hugh. That's kind of impressive. I mean, you know you're looking for one, fuck it. Maybe they had info on him crossing catch as well. But that's why keeping track of players is so important. Because if you know when that guy spawned, how long he's been missing, and that nobody's seen him, then you know that, okay, the exact timing where he could possibly be showing up to certain peaks. The Hugh turns and looks for it, and he's just there at that time. It's just good COD. Optic played that really well. I would not want to play them on Skyline. Kind of like I wouldn't want to play FaZe on Protocol or 100T on Rewind, but that doesn't exist anymore. So I think I'm just going to carry over right into the next map. I imagine... Well, I know who wins the series, but it's going to be a long series. Sorry, I can't go through and cut all this out because rendering it just to cut out a few segments is incredibly hard on my CPU. It takes forever because I have very limited RAM and I have 16 gigs of RAM and I have an old processor. It takes forever too. At least to do it high quality. So this is a full wrap, and this is very common on this map. You just stack one side. You stack something, and you hope it works. BO4-esque. Five's kind of playing A for a little too long. He's playing for the A reflank, but they're just going to check bomb so you're not there. Like, why would anyone? Yeah, so Optic are playing for the B wrap. What do you mean? This isn't a tricky situation. This is a 50-50. So what Carolina did there, you can call it camping. I don't know how new to COD you are. That might be what you call it. But you have to throw off the timings there. Like, you can't just sprint around the map constantly and play as fast as possible, because then everything you do becomes predictable down to like a half a second window of time. And so like players can just play like, okay, this is the timing they should be here. Okay, they're not there. So they can just start picking up everything like systematically at the timings you could be there. So if you stop and you wait 20 seconds, there's no way they have any idea where you are, so long as they don't have you trapped. And Optic definitely didn't have them trapped. They have no idea now. And so Optic are about to show up to the spot that, you know, Ravens were originally at. Assuming they're not going to be there. And he gets time. Oh, Hugh just... That's trigger discipline right there. He couldn't shoot at that. Ashy's going to get caught on the re-route. They're just going to run around. And now Hugh's hitting a mid-route. There was no cohesion, no teamwork there at all. Oh, I just realized that the minimap could be different, but it's actually perfect. So different maps have different sizes minimaps. I guess if they go water, you wouldn't be able to see it, but I wasn't paying attention. And here we are. Yeah, the water can be super annoying. I think what Hugh was trying to do, if you get enough depth in the water, then guns literally can't shoot you down that low. And it actually takes forever to be able to, or to drown the death, I mean. So, like, if Hugh could have been too low for that bullet to connect, he would have just won the round by default because there's nothing Slasher could have done. Which is why water is stupid and it shouldn't be in the game, huh? Just like doors. But that's not the game we play. So Hugh, it might look like he made the dumbest play you've seen in your life. Actually, like 1,000 IQ, because he was probably not winning that. Almost definitely, he was not going to win that gunfight. He made the best possible play, in my opinion. This is very standard. This is very standard, even in challengers. You triple one side hall. If you have, even if you send two guys top hall here, you're giving up map control, because on Hasi there's so much shit to watch. This isn't 5v5 anymore. So, I mean, if you have three guys top hall, right, then typically there's not going to be enough stacked against you on hall, and there's going to be help on B. But what Carolina end up doing here is they end up hard countering it, because they have two guys top hall, so they're outmanned top hall, but they sent two guys to B and just gave up A. And in that case, now you have two guys that can come and fast help the guy hall, or the two guys hall, and yeah, that's not good for you, because these guys control their peak from rock. Whenever you can control when you peak, That's always an advantage to an angle where you have to be, you know, pushing up out into the open, being vulnerable. Always. Well, in a camera-oriented game too, it's just how it is. He's gonna get caught here. He could have took him from behind. I would have loved to see that. Sorry. Why are you crying, bro? You got tired of eating my shoe? That is a little dog, bro. So yeah, that all that just happened, Optic got hard countered. Is what it is. I'm not a fan of this map being in the rotation, by the way. It's the worst map. It's the worst comp map in BO4, in my measly little opinion. But there's so many other maps they could have added before this. What? So they overextend top hall. Shotzi's looking for it. They might have had info at some point. No, Shotzi play for the timing, maybe? That might be prep. That's a very strange thing. So Shotzi just hits up middle because his teammates have such like thorough control over top. And then he catches Vivid because he knows he's on the stairs. Okay. I thought that worked out different. Now Tej is going to do essentially the same thing top wall, but Shotzi's going to be able to fast help here. Tej was originally like watching that, I believe. No, it's 7 that I thought was. Huh. Gwen's going to have to check all his corners. This is on LAN, so if this was an online game, you know that they're running EQ, because number 2 would have heard him for sure. I've seen it so much. I think basically the whole league is running EQ in the online matches, which is probably why there's such a big difference between how well some teams are doing online versus on LAN. Yeah. Wasn't possible. So you have a 2-2 split versus a 3-1. The guy's job is just to get info. You don't play a popular angle because presumably if they were stacking your lane, like no one's going to solo chow 5 here. So presumably they're going to try and double nade something. Or double chow something, and you just can't get caught. So 5 is able to pop out. Oh, Shotzi getting a little overeager there, in my opinion. Okay, well, they end up cleaning it out. That could have gone bad for them, though. But yeah, it just didn't. Like, even though they had a guy covering the OE, that guy ended up being worthless because of the way the round turned out. So Optic actually committing through, like, one guy through middle right there is actually insane. It makes it very difficult to counter, if you're hitting A at least. Yeah. This is why adding this hallway here was a bad idea. This was, I think it was in the game in BO4, but it was a different version. The original Hacienda did not have this window or this top hall. It also didn't have, you know, hanging on a ledge, slow-ass mantling. It actually had an insanely fast mantle, so all these jump ups make a lot more sense in BO4. But yeah, all this shit is stupid. It does get traded out. I mean, how do you even get out of there, honestly? So you see they're still doubled on this top right hall, presuming no one's going to be flanking. Vivid's caught, but he can slide away. Okay, he gets in the hall. Ooh. The fuck was that, Slasher? What? Alright, well, he's going to get traded. And now you got a 3v1. Yeah. Dashy almost wins those. Dashy's also very good when he's using like those god headies right there. He always stays moving horizontally. He never holds still. which makes it extremely difficult, especially in like a no aim assist gunfight, to just like peel someone's like forehead. Yeah, I mean, just getting a little bit. I don't understand that play. There's something I'm missing. What is this break looking like? No, I hate this. Because you have to force. If you're Optic here, if you're these guys on steps, like, you have to force. Because you can't let them get into top hall. And so what you end up with is two guys that are going to be on parallel to you who don't have to force anything because they're on defense, right? And if they can keep you out of here, then your two guys on A are kind of fucked because they just don't have any info. So see, London gets info on the guy low, and then these two guys have to make a play up top hall after the info's given away, but they're just hard playing for it. They have one guy rock. Obviously, like, Optic could hit a guy through top and kill this guy for free, but, like, what are the odds? He's also expecting a teammate to be playing top hall and have info on that. So the silver lining is Shotzzy slips, but this is just something you're going to expect because, like, you've been backed up. Since they doubled the same hallway as Optic doubled, they don't have any, like, window peaks, so 6 is going to turn at about the timing where he feels uncomfortable, where he feels they might be rotating and they might be able to kill him for free through middle. Now you see 8 kind of pick it up, and now they know that there's a flanker. Shotzzy's not going to expect the second guy plat. But your teammate is on A. What are you looking at? What? Oh, Kenny got the kill. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. All right. I almost couldn't believe what I was seeing out of Vivid. Now, sliding there is kind of worthless. I'm not going to lie. Why would you slide so deep if all you had to do was, like, keep Kenny from running to your side? But also, you should have been ready for that. 6 also should have conned that. But it's still 1v2. It's fine. I just got mixed up on who got that killed because I thought it was insane that Vivid didn't know. Also makes sense because Kenny was probably playing a passive angle and Shotzzy was kind of watching over him. I wouldn't say Shotzzy's the most clutch player. We'll see though. Because I guess he's not the most clutch player in my opinion because he's mostly like dead. He's like the guy that goes in first, right? So if he's last alive, then that's abnormal. A little bit late on the response. Yeah, he does get away. Gwyn not knowing if he went well. All right, TJ not knowing. But TJ wins that. TJ didn't know if he went well or if he went back into you. So that was kind of a mistake out of him. But he ends up just playing for both and it works out. Because when you have the camera, like, see, Shotzzy's caught out in the open there, and then TJ's sliding onto his screen. TJ just has the camera, so that's just one you should win. You got to trust yourself. Shotzzy should have assumed that he was definitely going to chow, but he didn't really know where he was. He didn't know if he was close or not. With how close that he actually was, Shotzzy probably assumed that he was somewhere on some other part of the map at the time because he never got shot at. So you see this same kind of 2-2 where Optic are going to play to sort of hard counter this, except London isn't playing through hallway. So Optic are going to be able to come and fast help through hallway. And so this is going to be also bad. I keep saying London, Carolina, the Ravens. Wait. Are they bottom? Just. Oh, they're bottom. Were they? No, I guess not. That was weird. I think they were just playing, they were late peeking from bottom. And yeah, so this plant goes down. That's the thing about giving up your top hall control. You have to be ready for this. No one's even watching it. That's kind of wild to me. I guess the assumption is that Optic almost always stack a side. So we're just gonna get this bomb down because they're not gonna have the map control as of yet. Nobody's going to be playing for B, essentially. Gwyn almost accidentally stair glitched right there. And that's going to go down. Optic love playing through middle here, and I love it just the same. I like sending a guy low mid. So Optic was playing for it heavy last round. Nobody here is playing for it. 7 is doing the thing, by the way, where you look underneath the little like wooden area around B that you can wallbang. You can look under it. There's a little gap, and you can see if they're on bomb. Like you can see their little feet. So this has become a common spot. Now Shotzi could have opened that door, got a freebie. Gwyn looks like he was looking back and forth. Gwyn gets a guy to come pick it up for him now, and now he's going to sit the corner and actually watch. So if somebody actually flanks number 5, then he's going to get info at least. No, what? I'm not sure what they're doing. I'm not sure they're sure. So the double chow comes in. Now you lost your office control, which is really bad because that's a central point. But Gwyn is in a spot where he can make a play for sure. I think there is a guy bottom. Gwyn's really worried about the BOE. What? Gwyn's not even worried. Spot Shotzi top. So you know the setup that they're going for here. So you know it's, in my opinion, it's probably going to be 2 site 1B here if I'm Gwyn. But Gwyn might just be chasing this. They might have info that one of them is out of position. And I assume so because Gwyn is playing this really fast. I don't know how you lost that, bro. This is TJ Haley. This round isn't over. It's over now. So Gwyn was playing it like he knew no one else was there. Once again, heavy mid presence. Whereas you have kind of a 2, and now you see that it's not 2A, 2 Hall. Even though that these guys, Vivid and Gwyn, can't help. Vivid's up here to get info, and Gwyn can also like poke his head, be annoying, but also just play for the OE because Optic really like this mid presence. And these 2 at A aren't even going to see the guy stairs. Like, they're not even going to see a guy playing for info. So, Vivid and Gwyn should know that all they have to do is hunker down. Gwyn actually gets one. But now Gwyn's in a bad spot. Really bad. Yeah, done. So you have a 2v3 on site. And so Optic can kind of use their man advantage and pick how they engage here. I'm not sure how that went as wrong as it did for Ravens. I guess just Shotzi getting top control so fast. It's an adjustment play call that London made. And so Optic are going to give them like individuals, a bunch of 1v1s. And that's just not advisable when you have man advantage. I don't. He didn't get it, right? Yeah. Barely. That was an elite hop. That was an elite hop. Cause like, how do I put this? Get the exact situation. So he doesn't see anyone there like immediately trading. So if there was somebody or if there's somebody like top hall, then he would like be peeking that quickly, even though it's only been 1 second that's passed since he got that kill. So he knows that last guy is either playing time or hitting a route or just out of position in general. So in all those situations, the other player is going to check at 7.5. Basically every time. So if you hop it before 15, then you're good. But he just hopped it a little too late. See, Slasher peaks at 8. So just, if there was like 2 more seconds on that clock in another universe, then Dashy probably gets that defuse. because Slasher wouldn't have peeked so quickly. But he also just might have been, he might have known that he was checking like late and would have checked it regardless. Who knows? But there would have been other options for Slasher if there were 2 more seconds. So Ravens coming in with that mid pressure. They send 2 bottom, so one's on the bottom little pot heady, and then 1 each window. And Optic are banging top left hall. That's not worst case scenario, because the goal here is you can watch bomb through that little crack that I'm talking about. It's a one-way line of sight, by the way. There's no way Optic can get a line of sight on you. So if you can't plant bomb until you've cleared this, essentially, or else you're just risking your planter dying for free. And so in that case, in order to OE and check that, you can send a guy back to top office to prevent that. So all you have to do is have a guy back up and have another guy. Slasher gonna go. Yep. Wow. Slasher's good, especially in S&D. But yeah, Optic just kind of get cooked. Where did one of these kills come from? I have a question. Shotzi is hitting through bottom middle, and so Slasher's just sick of it. It looks like he spots him. Nobody's able to trade him from that angle. If one of Shotzi's teammate was here, like the same hallway as Slasher, they don't get an angle on that. If someone's top left window, you can't get an angle on that. It's just strictly a passive angle watching your top side OE from Fountain. So I mean, Shotzi just took a gamble play. There's nothing he could have done. It's just a matter of if somebody plays for it or not, and Slasher played for it. He also might have seen him. I think he did see him. But there's just no situation where Shotzi can get enough help there. So Carolina are going to tie it up. We're 40 minutes in. I could just do an all-in-one. I don't mind doing an all-in-one. I'm already this far. So you see, you just stack one side of middle if you want to go for mid presence. Sometimes you send 2, or 3 people, I mean. But you always stack one side, generally speaking. If you don't do that, then you're just playing for info and nades. So you can send like one guy each side, throw a nade, but people have gotten so comfortable with the timings now. Doesn't really work like that. Round 1 is a little bit tricky though, because you don't have trophies, and the Optic side here has the nades. I'm not sure if nades were thrown. Was this an insta hit? So instead of playing through this door, you see how Slasher's playing it because he doesn't want to get naded. The other 2 just jump down, or jump out through top. So perfect. And that's how teams are playing it now, from London side especially. Shotzi immediately going to hit that OE because his lane's open. He's going to, as soon as Vivid spawns up though, he's going to know, oh, I'm spawning P2, somebody's blocking. Generally, if somebody's actively blocking, then you're not in this hallway. Although you could be. Just timing's a little smaller. A little narrower. Slasher needs to get the fuck out of there. Yeah, she does end up going down as well. So this is catastrophic for Optic. So he gets a kill top hall. And he's going to immediately drop? The thing is that, yeah, number 7 knows you dropped because you just dropped in the death cam. So, like, insta dropping there is a really bizarre play, in my opinion. Hey, you see this? Did he just spawn close, bro? Oh, no, I don't know. They're just winning their gunfights. Yep, this angle's super good, by the way, if you're Huke. But you can also head glitch your top hall. So even if your team is in time and you're in the hole, you can still help them tremendously by watching their like the top hall head glitch. So now that once ACAP has come through, it's very important that you don't lose control of this part of the map, because then all your routes become extremely long and it's very easy to cut you, because you have to run out through the open through palms if you're going to spawn P2, or you have to run all the way through your back spawn. Both of those are very open, Very easy to pick up lines of sight where you can peek from a lot of angles. Really bad. So 6 is just immediately picking this up, making sure that doesn't happen. Or at least doing his best to get the info off rip. Shots, or I should just say Optic end up getting those. So now you see that Optic are double OEing for this lane. 6 kind of went down, trying to watch it diagonally here. And this is an opportunity. Big opportunity for Dashy here. He's going to get one, and he's going to get in the back. And now he's going to actively block. And now they still spawn close. And I think Dashy was fully expecting them to spawn P2, because I don't know why else he would have just broke that door. Quinn's going to shoot some bodies. I have to get a restack, and 5 is just going to spawn up here, I think, and hold. Ooh, Kenny had to have hit some gross shots right there. He died. He didn't miss a bullet. Dashy with the clinical nade. Ooh, this is a very big kill between 8 and 2 here. Oh, Vivid somehow didn't get the second melee. He almost got robbed. Yeah. And so London are being like very persistent, not giving themselves up here. Now 6 is possibly making the first mistake, but 8 spawns front, so you know he didn't. And number 5, in the meantime, is hitting OE. As soon as you get in a guy in your white, like in theory, the round should be over. London should win this round. 40 seconds, you just got a guy in their white. Nobody can contest it out of Optic. This is a huge mistake. Now number 1 and number 4, when they spawn up, they immediately know. And so instead of going back, like sprinting all the way 40 meters through their spawn, just at a chance to get an extremely unfavorable gunfight, he's just going to OE, and he's going to try and basically get in their spawn and do what London is doing to them, like in reverse. He's going to try and do the same thing Slasher's doing. He actually ends up slipping 1. So London, if you're London here, you probably expect that someone on those in these near P4 spawns, when they spawn here, are gonna know immediately that Slasher's there, and they're gonna try and clear out their white or art, whichever you call it. Instead, he OEs, and they're not ready for this. This is now not as bad. 8's gonna get caught. Oh, he looks away at the literal worst timing. Now they get info that he's there. He's going to be able to prone. Kenny had to get that, though. But Slasher's going to end up giving up his angle for too long. I'm not sure why he stood up there. So Optic are going to retake. And now that Optic have cleared their top and taken their top, spawning them P2, I think it's over. There's no way. What the fuck is 5 doing? Oh, my God. You got to go rogue. You gotta go rogue, Slasher. Nobody's there. You just got info on the guy that was original. Well, he didn't get a kill, did he? You just knew he was there, but he missed a bunch of shots. Kenny, once again, gonna win a big one. He gets traded, but... yeah. So, I mean, I think London had the better position. They just let a guy slip their top. And you even saw, even after that guy top had jumped down, ran all the way up the lane, you know, hadn't been seen in forever, they still had Slasher hard playing for him for all that time. So that's just the importance of that position. In terms of 1, of how effective it is on keeping your team off of the time that you need to get, and 2, where it forces your team to spawn. It's multi-purpose. Just 1 mistake. Just 1 mistake. And that's control, by the way. I say it year after year. 1 mistake in control is all it takes, and you just lost your team the round. It could just be a simple, honest mistake. Nothing you could have done about it. Just you took a 90-10, and it turned out to be the 10. So they're going to end up actually playing for the OE here. They're going to shut Shotzi down. So this is a prep thing, because Shotzi did it last round, and he's also doing it this round. Shotzi almost always does some shit like this. It's very clear that London are playing to not allow things, and they have a reasonable game plan on how to act when they get into certain like setups. Which they're a pro team, so I mean, of course they do, but Kenny gets that kill mid. Now Shotzi slips. The problem is that you know that your team's spawning weird. I'm pretty sure they know, so. Now, Gwyn shot for a while. Let's see, because Gwyn shot his body. Gwyn jumps down and plays for him, and Shotzi's ready for it. Wow. That's funny. Shotzi should be dead here. He's getting collapsed on. No one can help. There he is. They're hard playing for that. And, ooh, Gwyn's going to get the double mid. Okay. Okay, but Optic re-stabilize here. Vivid's just like, I'm not going to let anyone cross to our white here. They spot Shotzi on down low here on the cross. All right, number 8 tries to do that very important OE. Once this goes away, then getting OE'd here for spawning P2. Very good. He ends up getting caught. And then they lose their guy white, and they lose their guy P4. And now Optic have the space to take, but they kill the guy in front. And so they should be perfectly aware. So they end up spawning here because of the guy who died prior to their respawn. Spawn system isn't quite fast enough for that. And so, yeah. Kenny's going to end up just getting in there, and he's going to get 3. Huge. Massive. So now, you know Ken's in here. Ooh. Oh, no. That's not good. Just staying alive there is huge. So Dashy's going to get spotted out her palms. Once you get spotted out her palms and you don't have white control, I mean, kind of rough. Yeah, and Dashy dies immediately. Gwyn actually gets that nade kill too. So they're going to clean out their street. They're only looking for Shotzi. They're watching the OE. Shotzi can't possibly be there by the time they picked it up. So Shotzi's somewhere in the middle of the map, not anywhere that he shouldn't be. Shotzi's shooting bodies, and this round is far from over. Come on, man. You are not FaZe. You're world champs, but you're not FaZe. I've never seen FaZe shoot bodies and then die because of it, at least in a game that was close. Sometimes they just don't give a fuck, but... A little bit more mid-heavy presence. 7 is Gwyn. He's going to be top hall. He shouldn't be able to make much happen. Optic end up stacking the weird side here. And this is where like these breakoffs can get really interesting, and they have like pretty high skill gaps, because Tej is not going to be aware if there's a guy on his right or not. This is number 6 is not going to be aware. Optic clean house, yeah, and it just looked like a very good breakout for them. They're putting 2 guys on this OE immediately to try and play for the spawners. Not going to work out. But at least take that space. You know where they all are. You don't have to tweak about anything. They're not going to get in your white. They're not going to make any crazy plays. And, you know, now they have to run around to get Kenny. Kenny goes down. Now they can turn and play front. But that bought Shotzi enough time to get in this annoying corner. It's going to be red, though, because he just got off time. And Tej isn't going to nade it, I guess. When going to run through, get 2. He just trades Tej and then gets 1 flat. He's not going to end up getting traded, though. Now he's going to try and play for the OE. A little bit aggressive. Not too bad. Carolina playing very mid-heavy. These mid-collapses are brutal. Shotzi actually goes bottom pool, and he's going to make a long play here, but 2 of his teammates just went down. He's going to play for the spawner first before he tries to make any type of play, but that's going to give away his position. Gwyn knows. Gwyn knows. Oh wow. Gwyn knows, like, we're looking for Shotzi. Where could he be? Well, he's not our street because they know somehow, right? He knows that he has to be P2. That's the only place he could be, or else he would have already been spotted. He's gonna end up getting bad timing. But Gwyn, you even saw that Gwyn slid forward, but he was ready for it. Like, he knew. And so now Shotzi is force spawning them P2. So Shotzi winning that gunfight, very important. So Gwyn made like a high IQ play, but Shotzi just won the gunny. Shotzi didn't expect it, but, you know, just didn't work out. Kenny can be really annoying here. Vivid doesn't check his mid before dropping. Interesting play. Gwyn gonna end up getting the trade at least, but he's gonna have to deal with the guy top. He's in a very weird spot, but oh my god, Carolina just got a guy outer palm, and then they lost somebody who lost the gunfight. It's 3. Hugh lost the gunfight in Vault. That is so bad. Yeah, because now Shotzi gets traded. And he otherwise didn't have to. They have a guy on time, and then Slasher nobody had info on Slasher, so he should get one, and he does. Now Optic are all spawning back white at least. Slasher can't get in and block. He knows that because 2 Optic spawners should be spawned up like before he's going to be able to block. They're going to be close. He's weak. They're going to end up clearing out A in the meantime. Slasher not going to be able to do anything with that close spawn. You should expect that they double white though. Like, they know you're there. They're off fresh respawn. It's weird. I guess he maybe just assumed someone would be top. Now they're filling top, but Hugh's going to get bad timing. Or, you know, the timing you'd expect, depending on how you look at it. Now that they have a guy top white, this is very bad. And now number 7, that's going to be Gwyn. Gwyn always making a play on the guy, on the most important Optic player on the map, I swear. He's making sure that they can't OE and get out this time and try and flip through plat, and he's just going to trust his teammates to watch front. Like, because he knows Optic did that last time, sending one guy to do that. Granted, at this point in time, like, it's not as relevant because you have 2 guys on B, and you know where everyone is. You have clean 4. But yeah, this is going to go to the next round. Oop. All right. So the second reason why Gwyn's angle was so good right there, I didn't check the map change. No, it's still perfect size. Second reason why Gwyn's play was so important there though is because you generally don't want to just try and bang front, especially if you have a guy in your white. You kind of have to play long ways here because these 2 guys only have to look at one thing. If they don't have to look at their white, all they have to look at is the exact angle you have to pop out of. And then they can check their catwalk or their line timing when that becomes necessary. So by going through and then filling this way, you have multiple angles and a lot of different timings, and you can really choose your time to peak a lot better. That's why that they didn't like wrap back, even though it was getting capped. Optic just winning these mid trades. Shotzi loses that to Slasher. Okay. Worst possible timing for Slasher. Now Optic are going to mop up again. Bad timing there. Dashy knew. Oh my god, Vivid got 2? Vivid got some crazy timing because neither of them ended up spotting him. Gwyn's going to end up getting Kenny and then another one. He just hits Hugh once. That one hit probably ends up winning Slasher that gunfight. Optic hitting through top. Hanging through top heavy. Now these 2 guys bottom. Notice how they're playing from angles where you can't really peek from top too well. It's kind of important. And then they double chow their top. Like at the same time. Because like this angle is obviously very good. So you have 2 guys playing for it. Gwyn wins it. Playing a little bit of an off angle too where you can spot him sooner just because of how geometry works. Getting a little elevation goes a long way. You're talking about a head glitch at least. And now, oh my gosh, I don't know how Optic do it. Their slaying power is ridiculous. Nope. And, you know, Shotzi needed to make that play. That's why he did it. It looked a little bit desperate. That's because it kind of was. He ends up forcing these two spawners down here, I believe, though. So if you look at it, they have kind of 3 dead. 4 dead, I mean. But Shotzi gets in. He knows that at least one's going to have spawned up, and he wasn't blocking it. But at least the next 2 spawn way out. So even though he doesn't get a kill, they're slow capping A. They're just keeping the clock stopped. They're winning on lives. And see, by the time both those players that spawned out were able to get into like any position here, like any super useful position to set up this break on A, Shotzi's already in the hill helping capture. That's why just getting there, spawning them out is, you know, rolling the dice was actually a pretty good play, even though it looked like a bozo play. You're going to get caught there. Just playing too aggressive. Just playing too aggressive. You can't do that, bro. Not in white. That's too important. That just seems like a greedy thing to do. That's actually one thing that I just want to go back on. Hugh dying there, playing too aggressive. That's one thing Pred was very good at. Just playing like some weird ass off angle while proning, or just like playing his life in a position where he needed to, like, and just pre-aiming. He was very, very good at that. Hugh could not so much. I feel like Hugh can't pre-aim to save his life. It is a mental thing. Like, you have players that are really good at cammering. You have players that are really good at pre-aiming. It's almost like you almost can't have both. Okay, he should have had that kill, but I just want to say that for all the people that say that pros are little whiny bitches and like they GA too much shit, I remember people were saying that about the knife GA. That's why the knife is GA. Slasher should have won that gunfight, or that fight, I guess, not a gunfight. He had no business winning. I don't know how he didn't. Yeah, that's stupid, and he didn't deserve that kill, and I'm happy Dashi got it. Ooh. Shotzi gets in now. Shotzi gets in. Now, I don't think he wins this, but you still have 2 guys pushed up. And then Shotzi being here also, if he can just stay alive a little longer, he can spawn this last guy out. It's not going to be in time. It's going to be... Oh, kind of was, yeah. And now 7 is barely back here in time. If he spawned close, it'd be different. But that's going to be a car bomb. So that should be that. Carolina should win this. Shotzi's going to cross again and force it. Look, you have 2. You're forcing, like, a lot of resources looking for Shotzi right now, right? Because they know everyone else is off respawn. Shotzi waits for his teammates to get into the play, and then he goes in. So he doesn't throw his life at a time where if he died, he would be spawning late and he wouldn't be able to get into the play on the next push. He just kind of plays his life, waits for his teammates to get pushed up and get in position, and then now he's going to bang down the door and do something. Just plays his life. He gets caught, but that's fine, because all the resources they invested looking there ended up winning them that round. Now we just walk into the next map, why not? So I'd gone all year without going over a red card, I think. But it appears to be here to stay. I've played it probably a matter of 5 times, so who knows if I'll be able to make any useful useful accounts. Yeah, playing through the middle area here is obviously very important for P1 because you can get angles inside of the point from middle, and there's only one exterior angle you can chow from. There's a lot of different places you can also like sit in a corner. Godlike head glitches with no aim assist. So if you can turn this into a horizontal battle, then the people who own this area of the map where Shotzi is just going to win. Slasher ends up playing outside of those angles. And that actually kind of does change the dynamic, having one guy go deep kind of outside, because it prevents them from being able to use these stairheadies to look in. It also kind of lets him get people weak, and you can be super annoying from there. Actually gonna go and look for him. Prones, he doesn't see him under the car. And now he gets the kill. And now it's reflipped. Optic kind of have this parallel. TJ, what the fuck? Oh, he doesn't. He gets help though. And those are these little horizontal angles I'm talking about. Shotzi just gets the freebie on point. He's gonna go down now, and then it's gonna be Slasher doing the same thing, just gonna try and prevent them from being able to use those angles against his team. He's actually just gonna play super weird here. Slasher just prones. If there's anyone looking for him, they're not gonna find him, and then he's gonna peek up late. Well, and just trust his teammates on the other side of the map. He's gonna end up getting caught, but it doesn't matter. You got that kill. Congratulations. Slasher's gonna spawn here, and you're gonna have to kill him again. So, and your man down. Oh my god! And then fucking Kenny spawns there because Slasher was a little bit too quick. Oh, that's horrible. That is horrible. Nobody's going to end up getting the info on Slasher crossing because they were too busy on that guy in time. Doesn't matter. He's going to die to a car. That's really awesome. And so London are just going to play for this row. This hill is very hard to break. It's because the Esky side spawns are so, like, bad. But it's also very hard to get time. Because it's such a trade war that the guy times basically a man down. Liability. Optic gonna get a big chunk of that. I'm sorry, the different hill I'm thinking of. Also kind of the same concept though. Esky spawn is pretty bad. So getting control of this outer lane is everything. They even spawn there. He's gonna actually cut back inside and try and get the time. Just gonna try and play from the time. So you see Slasher, he's just playing back there. He's gonna try and just be an annoying ass kill, make him tweak about him. Tell him, hey, you can't OE this, like. He's going to end up dying. Shotzi's going to end up hitting a reflank, getting 2. Gwen's going to drop down. Shotzi's going to stun himself, but somehow doesn't stun Gwen. Kind of weird. And one guy getting control of this area of the map when Optic can peek from anywhere at any time is just like super stress inducing. Gwen's waiting for his time. Now that his teammates have come through this door and gotten a kill, Gwen is going to go and hit through bottom now. Oh, Vivid's going to win a big one. That's going to be 4 dead. Optic going to spot at Eskies. It's immediately read by Gwen. Gwen immediately spots him. He's going to try and throw his life. Doesn't manage. And now, maybe you have fresh nades. London players aren't going to come and try and secure this scrap. Doesn't make much sense, to be honest. It's a good play. Actually going to win the fucking most ridiculous gunfight I've seen in my life. Okay. So, Slasher making a Slasher play there. He plays for a spawner. And now he gets a kill, and he's in the most annoying spot ever to deal with, while his teammates have... 2 of his teammates has had time to set up, and his last teammate off respawn even gets one. So just perfectly ideal. Now, funny, Kenny's like boxing out 2 players, you see? Instead of these players being able to sprint the time to help, instead he's boxing both of them out, and so effectively these 2 guys on point are isolated from every angle. So even though he's traded, he's done enough. Yeah, 2's got the cut. And now 4's in. Hugh's going to win that. Wow. He's going to trade. Ken's going to trade. Nobody's going to trade Ken. Nope, never mind. Now London kind of had the advantage on this side. Shotzi. Who'd they end up killing there? He's going to end up getting a kill on time. Vivid's going to trade. He's going to get traded. Very trade heavy. And very just open space where you have to cross through the open. Very nadeable as well because of all the cars. So fun. This top side control is important, but only for cutting spawners. So a lot of, I guess, situations where the other team has control of the hill. You're coming off a respawn wave because your whole team just died. Where you have to set up a collective push. You can't just kind of bang through front, especially on London's side. You have to play a little bit more, I guess, careful. Shotzi winning a big one. Good check. Shotzi is focusing on playing his life. So Shotzi gets the kill. He's in a spot that he knows the other team has to play for because it's a dangerous spot. And so he just jumps up in the corner and plays for a sub angle. So now, okay, you want to come and look for me. You're probably not going to win that gunfight unless you have a sub 2 and you read that I'm sitting on top of a fucking trash can. Probably not going to happen. So you just have to look at it now. So I took 2. He basically gets a double kill. And end up getting info on the last off a shoulder, then cameraing, and yeah, even if he doesn't get that kill, he basically got a double kill. Because he just takes the other guy out of the play for so long. Those are the little things. Ken getting a big one. Now Optic have tempo, but like I said, getting a guy on this time is super annoying, regardless of what side you're on. And now 7 and 5 are going to spawn flipped. I'm not sure if this is going to be red. And then so the guy on time should end up going down first. Then 4 is going to play for it. Hopefully he gets traded. That'd be tragic if he didn't. Excuse me, Teach? Alright, okay. Maybe Slasher didn't see him and he thought that he ran mid or something. Maybe Slasher even gave that comp preemptively. And they're still fighting it old. With, I mean, old is over. Dude, that's going to be Hugh. He's just not throwing his life. Basically, by Hugh being here, he knows when his team is going to get full flanked. His team should expect that they can be ticket. But at least Hugh knows that nobody is hitting all the way through. And yeah, these middle angles, like I was saying. Yeah, and so Optic should be getting time here, but Gwen actually stays up long enough. Optic aren't even worried about this time, yeah. He killed 3 players and it took him like 10 seconds to get on that. And now London's going to get the scrap, so Optic just won out on all those trades. But instead of getting the time, they try and secure next rotation. 8's going to end up flipping. They get the info on the flip now. Ken didn't actually see him. Now Vivid saw him. Vivid gets 2. And so Optic sacrificed a lot there. And it's not going to work out for them, I don't think. He's going to end up getting that assist. Is there going to be a reflip? Yes, but Optic are opting not to actually play for it. Huke being annoying over here. Yeah, so Huke being here forces London to continue spawning in the back. I guess the idea here is there's 30 seconds left. You don't want to flip because next you want to have a good setup for next, obviously. So Optic are opting not to try and block these back spawns and block the other side. Basically force spawning TJ here. I'm sorry. Yeah, TJ. So Optic are going to end up getting the break. Huke's still playing a position where he's blocking. At about 10 seconds, if they were trying to play spawns, we're about to find out. Now it's a foot race, and Huke is playing super slow. Joshy's going to get caught. Huke's going to get caught, and now they're going to lose the foot race. The back, if that's what they're trying to get. Everyone on Optic spawns across the entire map. That's probably why Optic didn't want to get caught blocking that. Actually, it's just winning the rotation without necessarily worrying about the spawns. Guys, you don't want to spawn Narnia. It's not that they wanted to get good spawns. They just didn't want to spawn old across the entire world. Optic are just gonna win out on the top side here. Chauncey's just looking around. He's gonna end up getting in hot dog stand. He's gonna end up getting spotted though. Trade's gonna go down. 5 should play for him. Nope, 5's not. Yep. Shotzi is gonna spot him while crossing and reach out immediately. Nobody's top on them, yeah. Nobody's top on them. Shotzi's still top window somewhere. Shotzi's in the middle of the fucking map. Yeah, that's the kind of fear that playing your life puts in people's hearts. Not giving up info, not throwing your life. Playing from this top side, he might not get this trade. He doesn't. Now it's going to be a flip. Optic kind of spawned close too. Oh, London spawned way closer. Huh. They're not ready for the top side. They're not ready for that full flank. And Shotzi's going to get 3. Going to get slid on. London's still spawning close. You know that you're looking for Shotzi. Shotzi was cutting new, he ends up getting 1, and he gets info on 2 more that are in. You're only looking for 1 now if you're Optic, you just spotted him, so you know 3 time, and then last guy here, so you still have info on all 4. One guy could be OEing to try and block, but probably not. London are just eating though. Now it's just a matter of breaking the setup. Kenny wins a big one. Shotzi wins a big one. No 1 time now. Once again, very easy to win this trade war once you get tempo. Very hard to keep your tempo if you're going to have a guy in time, though. And wow. And he got one he shouldn't have right there. See, getting that guy time, he can't do anything. So London are just going to opt to keep them off the time here, even though there's only 10 seconds left. The idea is that you don't want to let anyone OE and get in your side, I assume, because I saw Hugh heavy playing for it last time. And London were also very focused on that OE. So now 6 has to look down. And he's going to die. Opt to get the flip that they presumably wanted. Optic spawning low mid too. I mean, this is super ideal. Very slow play, trying to force mistakes. Not even mistakes, but trying to catch mistakes. Good little flank. He gets a timing. There's just too much shit to watch, honestly. Way too much. Optic are gonna get some of this time at least. Honestly, Forrest stayed up way too long here. Yeah, there he goes. You still have to worry about Gwen. He just gonna catch that. Wow. Yuke's not ready. Yuke gets caught. You heard the door break. Optic just going through front. Alright, kind of a major gunfight here because this determines who spawns the other team further out. So if Tej wins this is actually big. Yep. Now watch where Optic spawn. Yeah, so he reflips. His team has good side, especially for rotation, which it is going to go to next, obviously. Now 2 slips though. Shotzi slips. Now you have to tweak about that. He's on that shrub too. He's going to end up getting cleaned up by Shotzi, who he was looking for. Just didn't have time to go get. Now the reflip. Carolina should get the scrap at least. They're going to trade out. Just going to opt to play. Whoa, 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 whoa. What is that? Okay, well, he got it. Shotzi going to catch him top. Oh my gosh. Shotzi hit some gross shots you can't see. But on the second guy. He didn't get the kill, but he hit some shots. Carolina playing very close quarters here. Optic do not really have favorable spawns. It just matters on how the trade war goes, though. Duke's been out of the play for too long. Yeah, and Huke's out of the play for so long, and he's not gonna make anything happen. Did Huke spawn old? So. Ah, Huke did spawn old. That's why Optic was playing for not to happen. Oh. I mean, yeah, he spawned. When did this respawn come in? Right before next popped. There he is. Damn! So you have 4 and 3 that are just across the map. This is the first time I was thinking, like, what's going on? Like, what is this positioning war over here with top mid and getting on the back line? It's not necessarily to block. It's to make sure you don't spawn back here for new. And Optic get 2 spawn back here for new. And they have no one blocking Eskies. So essentially, Optic are in a 2v6. Because these 2 Optic players could kill everybody front. They could respawn, get back to the hill. And that would still probably be a little bit before the timing where Huke shows up to hill. Probably about at the exact timing that Dashy would show up to the time. It just takes that long to get there. And that's why this map sucks, but I mean, yeah. I'm not sure why we kept this over Rewind. I guess because Rewind is just like corny with how bad the spawns were. Yeah. So that's going to be that. So that was a big break, and we're going into Proto. Optic are pretty good at Proto. This is going to be the last map. Good series. All these maps have been good besides the first one. Is there a tactical timeout that came in? What the fuck? Okay, now they're going to reset. All right. Very standard. You want to play this guy top. The reason that holding your plat is important here is that on the off chance that the other team gets tempo off the break, I mean, number one, you can kind of prevent this low hit and stop them from being able to get your zip. But you can go behind this wall and look up here. If you ever played P2 on Protocol, you know. You can just play like behind the P2 box and look up top mid and kind of cut that. It's very important for opening breaks. But Optic are just going to opt to all drop low, so they're not even worried about top mid. Number one's going to get spotted. Yeah, Kenny's going to get caught. It looked like 8 was even hard playing for that kind of, because I don't think he's even on the heady. Or he was even on the heady. He might have been, though. And that you don't assume there's going to be 2 plat, like, ever. You have, you had a guy your window originally, I assume. So that you know no one hit mid fast. So all you have to worry about is time. Shotzi, number 2, going to end up, he's top on the staircase right now. Everybody is underground. And yeah. 2v1 situation. Shotzi, he's been playing, I've watched their last 2 series. He basically only plays the staircase. So, I mean, you know. And so Shotzi's not going to insta-chow. He's going to play for the timing. He's going to force, if they're going to hop, he's going to force the one player remaining to watch or to worry about his middle. He's not going to insta-chow because he knows they're going to assume he's there because he's always fucking here, right? So he's going to wait for about the timing or about how long it would take for him to wrap all the way around here. And that's when the player on time is going to start tweaking about it. And so he presumably might be able to get a free kill because now he has to watch both. And you can only watch both from a certain number of angles. Gwyn plays that expertly, by the way. Expertly. He understands that that's kind of how that works. He's playing for Shotzi to OE on the time. Because Shotzi is doing what I just said, right? It's that gives Shotzi a certain number of angles on point that he has to worry about. Gwyn actually just plays a completely different angle. One where you have to basically watch 2 things at once, and you're giving up like bad timing, which Gwyn did get bad timing. He just won anyway. But like that was really well played because you saw Shotzi wasn't even remotely ready for it. Like he should have won that gunfight easily, but he just like had no idea. That's actually I'm actually going to glaze that one. That was pretty good. There also might have been, it seems like Gwing might have got info. Because the guy bomb might have been able to see him. And with 27 seconds, if they lost that, I would have been very critical of that hop. Because he has to check. He's going to check. Once again, you have this kind of duel, this AR duel that goes on top plat. And then what happens outside of that is a little bit unknown. You have to play rather cautious down here. Especially if you're not going to stack it like Optic did last round. Carolina appear to be playing more for mistakes. I don't think Optic are going to give you those. Shotzi's also playing for mistake here. Vivid made one. Slasher gonna go ahead. Vivid's just gonna sit this corner and wait until Slasher picks it up. Slasher gonna just die for free. She'll get traded, and Vivid is old enough to actually play outside that angle like that. Gwyn got caught in a corner. Not gonna work out. GG. Yeah, not. Don't love the play. I skipped around. No. Now that you have, oh, what the fuck? They just got, I don't know who stunned all of Optic, but he was on their own team. So Shotzi, yeah, that little jump bounce is kind of weird. Who's gonna give that death up? 6 Slasher gets a kill bottom? Or Slasher? I don't see 6. I'm sorry, 5 Slasher. Yeah, so he kind of gave his life away there. Not even a sub chow, like. Actually gonna get some body shots. Love. Kenny, ready? Ooh. Been making some dizzy plays. He's not gonna win this. Yeah. And so now he's on both sides. Chassis gonna shoot bodies. They know that he crossed, obviously, because they were playing a crossfire bottom. Dang, how much did I skip? They're gonna go double plat this time. They're playing very heavy through boat side here. So number 7 is just getting info. He's shouldering and he's getting info. No, 7 was top his building the whole time. Or maybe he zipped up. Maybe 7 threw a little shoulder down low, zipped up to make sure that he couldn't get insta-flanked there. But they're all gonna get caught here. I mean, this is bad. Ooh, Shotzi accidentally gonna break that door. I'm not sure. He might be running auto sprint. Number 8 is in an interesting. They're just all stacked down low. Everyone on London is down low. You have Shotzi up here top house. 6 is top mid, I assume. I would hope. Boat and top blue. So first thing Optic's gonna do in this situation is they're gonna try and clear everything up top. Make sure they don't have to worry about any weird peak, any weird timing, any weird angle. They're gonna clear everything up top. Once they've established, hey, they all have to be down low at this point, then they're gonna go and make something happen. You see one's clears kind of tower a little bit. Jossy's playing for any sort of timings that might be occurring or any wrap. They don't really collapse properly. Optic doesn't really collapse properly, but it works out. I think 4 just died a little early. That's all I'll say. I think that Dashy died a little bit early right there. Shotzi wasn't quite ready. This seems a little bit disjointed. It's still losable. Not going to work out. It's very aggressive.
come from. He's just able to slide on in, win that gunfight, stall enough time for him to get a little bit of his health back, and at the same time, Hoop puts down shots into Gwyn to have him weaker for this final engagement. But it's again, Shotzi making plays. Alan's as simple as that. The fact that nobody's watching over the map, Optic said screw contesting in towards the bottom.
Okay, but why are we looking at this again? I also want to say that if Gwyn actually slides left, like, or maybe Shotzi shoots him once and Gwyn goes back left, I 100% guarantee you Shotzi mantles on top of this computer, and like pre-firing that would even be a good idea. Just quite winnable. Okay, what happened? Why are we shooting bodies, bro? This guy is on one a little too much right now. This is not this. Like when FaZe shoot bodies, I'm never like tweaking about it. But like I'm tweaking about Shotzi shooting all these bodies. Just because like it's just not the time. Oh my god, who won these gunfights up top? I was too busy monologuing. So 6 and 3 have this gunfight, but it gets traded out. And then okay, Slasher's gonna end up actually gunning Kenny after that trade occurs. So Hugh dies off rip, off kind of a standard little angle. I think he got shot from this top window, little tiny crack. Optic are going to have 2 time and a car, and a car is actually caught. What just happened? Yeah, the car isn't useful, but you do get info on the guy top, but there's not enough time is a problem. They're going to wait to push here until, like I with Shotzi earlier, you wait to push until the guy Platt could have, you know, gone somewhere else. Make the people on bomb have to worry about everything by just hitting a little bit later. The nade is spectacular. The stun is going to cancel the regen. Gwyn's going to get in and get 1. Slasher should get that. That's how you do it. Most people don't think of stuns like that, but you can chuck a stun and that'll cancel the regen. It makes it very effective. Because now you can essentially be weak for twice as long as you otherwise would. I think it's stupid personally. I've been saying for years that stuns should not cancel regens. Flashes should not cancel regens, but they're not going to listen to me. They're going to listen to whoever is letting these maps go through. Well, 1. Okay, so Optic going to opt to stack boat a little bit. I think they sent 3 through boat side. Getting on this boat heady, by the way, is pretty good. They completely give up their top mid. They're going to end up getting a guy in boat through mid. Oh, that's actually relatively intelligent. Although, like, how many times... I think we've seen Hugh die in angles that are exposed to this, like, twice. So, the fact he's not worried about it, I guess, is just simply because of Kenny. I think Kenny's very exposed. He's going to get Hugh. He's going to end up getting stunned, and Gwen's just going to get him anyway. If your team is going to play the same exact side that you're going to come through after making that sneaky play, then it kind of takes the whole point out of it. Although Dashy had the angle to watch over. Oh, I was talking about how he was in a very exposed angle. Yeah, he's actually not in an exposed angle at all. That boat angle, it's rather passive, but Gwen's going for the ace. Trying to give Gwen the ace. They actually give it to him. Huh. I think they were literally playing for Gwen to get that. Okay. Why did you go for house and then get blooded somehow? What? It's the guy shouldering. So that you've seen both teams do it. They send one guy down low just to shoulder to play for that info, and somehow they just managed to kill him. It looks like they're smoked. So maybe he naded. He got naded and they killed him with like a single bullet. Yeah. Good luck. Yeah. Now you all look fucking stupid. Like. I mean, Hugh realistically might have just been executing the strategy like perfectly. He just didn't have a trophy. Nothing you could do. He couldn't react to the nade in time, and they just like pre-fired him or just played for, just peaked off the same time that the nade would be arriving. Actually gonna get that one. I should just get a mid sprint TJ Haley, like casually. The go. I would say it's winnable, but it's not. Yeah, he's getting flanked. Whatever. Yeah, she can clutch a lot of things. That round is not one of them. Just like that, you kind of lost your lead on some either like small mistakes or in the last round's case, big mistake. So Shotzi, this is his sneaky angle now. He's going to play under the plat. While number one, what number one can do, Kenny can do from here is you can watch this top mid OE. And you're in this really weird offie. So if anyone top mid tries to check, then you kind of just have a free kill. And also, nobody's going to be prepared for you. At this angle also, but you could get flanked. So Shotzi has to get in time here. He has to get into sight, which I believe both his teammates are in there. Before the timing arrives where a Ravens player could be wrapping and peeking from here. So he's going to have to get in soon. He's actually going to opt to get on the steps, which also hides him from number 6 here. The problem... Oh. Kenny is up top. He's not underneath it, so he's just going to get caught. And actually, TJ makes a smart play. Granted, if you like have an AR, you get both. But TJ, even if Shotzi was weak right there, and maybe he had like it calculated that okay, if he's weak, I can kill him and Kenny. He just kills the guy that's closest to the rotation. So that's actually pretty bad. You have Shotzi just in tower doing nothing. Actually, oh my god, why would this ever... Slasher gonna be forced to... Slasher? Slasher ends up going bottom and then Huke isn't ready for it. Hello? You have map hacks in a cruise missile. Like... How are we getting caught by Slasher? And with a pistol. Slasher killed him with a pistol. You can't see the kill feed. But yeah, Slasher ends up running by him, like risking getting killed by the cruise, I would feel like. Maybe he knows the timing well enough to be comfortable, but yeah, he just kills Huke even though Shotzi could have been calling him out the whole time. That was a bad play out of Slasher. Like, because his team isn't even planning B, or at A, I mean. So, like, you would always expect there to be an optic player, B, like, there. What the fuck? Shotzi was cruising, by the way. That's what happened. Okay, so Optic are going to clean house. They're just going to win their individuals, whatever. Not unexpected. Very bizarre round of Call of Duty I just watched. Optic just assume no one is going to wrap. They wrap. Kenny dies. Shotzi ends up getting one. Cruise missile and tower. Weird timings. Slasher does a ridiculous play. Actually gets a kill with a pistol out of it somehow. Maybe they actually swapped to Ghost. Unironically, maybe he had Ghost on. Sorry, let me... Shotzi going to be solo plat here? So he's going to play for someone to OE this. Yeah, he's just going to sit this corner and wait. Now this guy Tower can drop down at some point, I think. No, he's actually going to cut mid. He's just going to check that corner. Kenny should be able to cut this, though. But number 1... Or no, this is number 7. This is Gwyn. Gwyn is bottom at A right now. And then the other London players are at boat, kind of collapsing. So Kenny's not going to be able to get this angle, I don't think. He's going to die. A? No. No, Kenny actually plays the angle, though, tucked up into the left side of the wall, so no one could be watching. So even though that's kind of risky because you have no control of their side top mid, he does make the safe play on the peak at least. Which ended up being correct. Now you have one guy zipline, one guy bottom, one guy low blue zip, then you have one guy grandma zip. Sorry. And vivid back spawn is going to be impossible to deal with. So all these angles are cut, basically. The upside for Optic is that none of them are in a position that's easy to isolate. Dashy's obviously in the most like isolatable position, but he doesn't need to watch Vivid. That's the problem. He's too focused on Vivid. Vivid's not fucking moving. I promise. Like, you're not going to get that kill. What? He's peeking. Actually just trying to make sure that he doesn't die from any other angle. And actually, Kenny's going to make a play. Oh, no. Kenny was in the corner. It was Slasher who was just filling there and gets caught. So now Vivid's in the back. Gwen's going to drop and... Who is that? Sorry, TJ Howie's actually going to hard check that. Can we go back and look at that? What is this little fucker doing? He's fully aware and he just hard checks it. I think the whole time he's been looking at Dashy, or at least like having that angle open, he notices nobody's checking for a guy on his side of the map to be flanking, so he knows somebody has to be low and close. Because that's the only place that's not visible where Dashy could have his help from. So he's going to get the kill. Dashy's actually going to end up checking it at the proper time, though. Very annoying kill, by the way. Nope. Dashy's going to just end up getting cleaned up. They played that 2v1 correctly. Dashy played it very well, but they just played it, you know, correctly. It's not a favorable position for him ever. Yeah, so they're all going to drop off rip. Optic are going to opt to send one top, one heli. They expect it to be play. So they're just going to guess wrong. Nobody on... The worst part is nobody on Optic is even going to have info that nobody on Carolina went plat. So that actually helps Carolina more. Like if Carolina had a player here playing for nobody, it would be better than Optic having somebody here not spotting anything. It's a 4v1. 4v0 for site control. Optic are playing for the retake. They're going to get it. So Shotzi is clearing their top. Very similar, especially on Volt S&D. Clear everything up top first, and then collapse on point. Don't leave any opportunity to get picked off by some dude in a weird spot. Actually gonna die before his teammates are. Like, Shotzi is still clearing tower, and you're dropping and getting blooded. I just hate that, bro. I know I could just be tweaking, like being overcritical. So just, you're gonna get traded out now. You're in a 2v1. What happened to So Gwen playing the obvious angle. He's gonna watch his close. Vivid's gonna watch. Vivid's actually not in the right angle to do this, but he knows that his back is secured because there's two people watching it. So they just only worry about close. And he actually ends up coming close. So Gwen made a pretty critical error by looking away there. But it's gonna get traded. Vivid can't possibly lose that. And this is just not a possible win. Now he's weak. It's just going to take too long for him to regen. If it's going to spot that. Good try, but yeah, London going to come out with that series. Well played. I was not expecting it to go that well for them. But Carolina, if you don't know, is on top of the CDL board right now. They're the #1 team. So, I mean, in theory, if we're going to count preseason. Granted, it's obvious 100 Thieves was the best team, but at that point, not anymore. But yeah, that was a good, an hour 44 for 5 maps. That's got to be a record for me. So I'll keep it there. I won't talk too much more. I'm going to go over the FaZe series now. and then I'll get to grand finals.